All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. G7 leaders to call for a new transparent investigation by WHO into the origin of coronavirus. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the outreach session of G7 summit on Saturday and Sunday in virtual format. Women and Child Development Ministry urges people to not share information on social media about children found abandoned or in distress. Karnataka government announces unlock plan for 19 districts where positivity rate has come down. Jharkhand government cancels class 10 and 12 board examinations. More than 24 crore 58 lakh doses of corona vaccine administered in the country so far. Exports of India's organic farm products jump 51% in 2020-21. Pakistan's National Assembly approves a bill allowing Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav to appeal his conviction in High Court. India's Neeraj Chopra wins gold in javelin throw at meeting Siddharth Lisboa and Shikhar Dhawan to captain India on 6-match white ball tour of Sri Lanka in July. As many states are relaxing lockdown norms, we advise our listeners not to lower their guard as the COVID-19 pandemic remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow the 4 simple steps. Wear a face mask. Maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing. Focus on hand and face hygiene and get vaccinated. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 23978 046 and 1075. And now the news. Leaders at the G7 summit in the UK will call for a new transparent investigation by the WHO into the origins of coronavirus. According to a draft communiqué, the G7 countries will also pledge 1 billion doses of corona vaccine for the countries around the world. The leaders of G7 states, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan and the UK and the US will gather in British seaside resort of Cornwall for the 3-day summit beginning today. India first backed call for further investigation on May the 28th, days after US President Joe Biden asked intelligence agencies to redouble their efforts to gather information to facilitate a definitive conclusion on the origin of the coronavirus. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the outreach session of the G7 summit on 12th and 13th of June in a virtual format. Briefing media yesterday, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said the UK currently hosts the presidency of the G7 and has invited India along with South Korea and South Africa as guest countries for the G7 summit.
The invitation of UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi will participate in the outreach sessions of the G7 summit on 12th and 13th June in virtual format. UK currently holds the presidency of the G7 and has invited India along with Australia, Republic of Korea and South Africa as guest countries for the G7 summit. The meeting will be held in hybrid mode.
The meeting will be held in hybrid mode. This is the second time Prime Minister Modi will be participating in G7.
Women and Child Development Ministry has urged people to not share information on social media about children found abandoned or in distress, as it can put the child's life at risk. It said such information should be reported to Childline on 1098. Several children are facing serious distress in the event of parents getting infected or hospitalized due to COVID-19. Some of them have lost their parents due to the pandemic. Invitation to persons for adoption of orphans is illegal, as no adoption of a child can be permitted without the involvement of Central Adoption Resource Authority, CARA. We have more from our correspondent.
Giving or taking children in adoption without following due process of law is illegal. Such adoption is punishable and also amounts to child trafficking. Appeals related to the direct adoption of children affected by COVID on social media are completely illegal and may increase the risk of child exploitation and trafficking. Central Adoption Resource Authority, CARA, is a statutory body of Ministry of Women and Child Development. It functions as the nodal body for adoption of Indian children and is mandated to monitor and regulate in-country and inter-country adoptions. If anyone is interested to adopt an orphan or abandoned or surrendered child, they should apply to specialized adoption agencies through Child Adoption Resource Information and Guidance System, CARINGS, by filling up the online application form. Suparna Saikya, AIR News, Delhi.
The nation continues to march strongly on its path of COVID recovery with a gradual decrease in total number of active cases. For the third consecutive day yesterday, the number of new daily cases remained below the 1 lakh figure. In the past 24 hours, over 1,51,000 COVID patients recovered from the disease, whereas in the same time span, 94,052 fresh cases were recorded nationwide. The number of fresh cases recorded is lowest in over 2 months' time span. With this, the recovery rate in the country has further improved to 94.77%. Jharkhand government has cancelled board exam for class 10 and 12 for this session. In a tweet, Chief Minister Hemant Soren said 10th and 12th board exams have been cancelled in view of the circumstances arising out of COVID-19 and the demand of students and parents. We have more from our Ranchi correspondent.
After the announcement of cancellation of 10th and 12th board examinations by the state government, Jharkhand Academic Council JAC is gearing up for the preparation of results of around 4.40 lakh students and 3.32 lakh students who had registered for the 10th and 12th state board examinations. JAC will study the result assessment methodology of CBSE and CISE board for preparation of the board exam results. Results of class 9 and 11th board exams respectively will also be considered in this process. JAC conducts board exams for classes 8th, 9th and 11th every year. Meanwhile, JAC Secretary Mahip Kumar Singh said that the syllabus was revised for this year's board examinations and there was a 40% reduction in the course with a change in the examination pattern. Shilpi, AIR News, Ranchi.
Jharkhand government has also extended the restrictions till June 17 with some relaxation.
Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa has announced an unlock plan in 19 districts where the positivity rate has come down. In another 11 districts with high positivity rate, the lockdown norms will continue. Powers have been entrusted to the district deputy commissioners to bring stringent action to enforce the lockdown in these 11 districts. Addressing media persons in Bengaluru, the Chief Minister said that keeping livelihood and the economy in mind, a few relaxations are announced in norms in the 19 districts from June the 14th. More from our Bengaluru correspondent.
Chikmagaluru, Shivamogga, Davangere, Mysuru, Chamarajanagar, Hassan, Dakshin Kannada, Bengaluru Rural, Mandya, Belagavi and Kodagu are the 11 districts where the lockdown will continue. COVID curfew is imposed in addition from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. on weekdays and from Friday 7 p.m. to Monday 5 a.m. on weekends. In 19 districts with lower positivity rate, people can purchase essential goods from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Industries can operate with 50% staff and garment factories with 30% employees. Parks can open for public from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Auto rickshaw and taxis can operate with only 2 passengers. The relaxation is valid from June 14 to 21st. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
Gujarat has recorded 544 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday. 1,505 patients recovered during the last 24 hours and were discharged from the hospitals. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Total 7,96,208 patients have been recovered from COVID-19 in Gujarat till now. The recovery rate further improved and reached up to 97.23%. Maximum 86 new cases of COVID-19 reported from Ahmedabad. Vadodara recorded 61 new cases, while Surat recorded 60 new cases. 11 patients lost their lives yesterday. Gujarat has now 12,711 active cases at present, out of which 316 patients are on ventilator. Meanwhile, 2,68,485 persons have been vaccinated in the state yesterday. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
The corridors of hospitals have several positive stories to tell. A patient aged 54 years admitted in a hospital in Delhi was critically ill with very low oxygen level. Talking to All India Radio News, Dr. Ashish Khattar, senior physician who treated the patient, says, with strong willpower, positive approach, the patient recovered completely after 35 days of hospitalization. Dr. Khattar appealed to people not to lower their guard even when the cases have started declining.
आप लोग सावधानी बरतिए, 6 फीट की दूरी, मास्क, सैनिटाइजर इसका इस्तेमाल करें। जब तक घर से जाने की बाहर आवश्यकता ना हो, घर से बाहर मत निकलिए। घर आने पे साबुन से हाथ धोइए या सैनिटाइजर से हाथ धोइए, कपड़े चेंज करिए, तभी घर वालों के साथ मिक्स होइए।
India has administered more than 24 crore 58 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine in the country so far. Health Ministry said more than 30 lakh 32,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday, out of which more than 27 lakh 33,000 beneficiaries were vaccinated for the first dose and more than 2 lakh 99,000 beneficiaries received the second dose of the vaccine. The country had launched the world's largest vaccination drive on 16 January this year. The ministry said more than 18 lakh 64,000 beneficiaries of the age group 18 to 44 years received their first dose of COVID vaccine yesterday, and more than 77,000 beneficiaries of the same age group received their second dose of COVID vaccine.
The Health Ministry says there have been some unfounded media reports of the CoWIN platform being hacked. It said, prima facie, these reports appear to be fake. However, the Ministry and the Empowered Group on Vaccine Administration are getting the matter investigated by the Computer Emergency Response Team of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Dr. R.S. Sharma, Chairman of the Empowered Group on Vaccine Administration, CoWIN, has clarified that CoWIN stores all the vaccination data in a safe and secure digital environment.
In Bihar, over 1 crore 16 lakh 55,000 people have been vaccinated in the state so far. Out of these, 22 lakh 94 people are from the age group of 18 to 44 years. Meanwhile, the state's recovery rate has risen to about 98%, while the test positivity rate has declined to below 1%, and it is 0.51%.
The government has decided to allow LPG customers to have a choice deciding which distributors they want their LPG refill from. The decision has been taken with a view to further empower the LPG consumers and make energy accessible and affordable to all. Petroleum and Natural Gas Ministry said now the consumers will be able to choose their delivering distributor from the list of distributors catering to their address within their oil marketing company. In the pilot phase, this unique facility will be available in Chandigarh, Coimbatore, Gurgaon, Pune and Ranchi.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. G7 leaders to call for a new transparent investigation by WHO into the origin of coronavirus. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the outreach session of G7 summit on Saturday and Sunday in virtual format. Women and Child Development Ministry urges people to not share information on social media about children found abandoned or in distress. Karnataka government announces unlock plan for 19 districts where positivity rate has come down. Jharkhand government cancels class 10 and 12 board exams. More than 24 crore 58 lakh doses of corona vaccine administered in the country so far. Exports of India's organic farm products jumped 51% in 2020-2021. Pakistan's National Assembly approves a bill allowing Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav to appeal his conviction in High Court. India's Neeraj Chopra wins gold in javelin throw at meeting Siddhartha Lisboa, and Shikhar Dhawan to captain India on 6-match white ball tour of Sri Lanka in July. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The Centre has been disseminating awareness of 6 national helpline numbers created for the benefit of citizens during the COVID-19 pandemic. The child helpline number is 1098. For senior citizens of Delhi, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, the helpline number is 14567. The helpline number of National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, for psychological support is 08046110007. Ayush COVID-19 counseling helpline number is 14443, and MyGov WhatsApp help desk number is 9013151515. Exports of India's organic farm products surged 51% in 2020-21, beating COVID-induced hiccups in the supply chain. Commerce Secretary Anup Wadhawan said that outbound shipments of organic products hit $1,040 million last fiscal, compared with $689 million a year before. Farm exports rose over 17% last fiscal to $41.25 billion. Even in volume terms, exports of organic products grew at 39% to 888,179 tons last fiscal. The key organic products that were shipped out include oil cake and meals, oil seeds, cereals, millets, spices and condiments, tea, medicinal plant products, dry fruits, sugar, pulses and coffee.
Pakistan's National Assembly has approved a bill allowing Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav to appeal his conviction in the high courts of the country. The bill seeks to provide further right of review and reconsideration in giving effect to the judgment of the International Court of Justice. The bill was adopted by the National Assembly yesterday after approval from the 21-member Standing Committee. It has been named International Court of Justice Review and Reconsideration Act. The Pakistan government had brought an ordinance in the National Assembly earlier in view of the ICJ's ruling in the Kulbhushan Jadhav case. The act will extend to the whole of Pakistan and shall come into force at once. According to the bill, the High Court has the power to review and reconsider where the ICJ in relation to a foreign national passes an order in respect of rights under the Vienna Convention of Consular Relations, or a foreign national is aggrieved in respect of the rights available under the same. Such a foreign national, either himself, through his authorized representative, or through a consular officer of a mission of his country, may file a petition before a High Court for review and reconsideration in terms of Section 3 in regard to an order of conviction or sentence of a military court operating under the Pakistan Army, 1952. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar chaired a fruitful meeting of Indian ambassadors in Saudi Arabia, UAE, Iran, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar and Bahrain. The discussions focused on ensuring utmost welfare of the Indian community in respective jurisdictions and facilitating reuniting of families separated by COVID disruption. They also discussed interceding for early return of Indian talent and skills who left the Gulf during the pandemic and encouraging speedy resumption of flights to Gulf destinations to help NRIs. The minister expressed confidence that Indian ambassadors and embassies will deliver on these priorities.
Myanmar's military authorities have charged deposed leader Aung San Suu Kyi with corruption, the most serious charge laid against her till now. She is accused of accepting cash and golden bribes and faces up to 15 years in jail if found guilty. She faces 6 other charges relating to alleged illegal imports of walkie-talkies and inciting public unrest. The former state councillor was arrested on 1st of February when the military seized power in a coup. She has since been held under house arrest and little has been seen or heard of her apart from brief court appearances. The court's military seized power alleging voter fraud in general elections held last year, but independent election monitors say the election was largely free and fair, and the charges against Ms. Suu Kyi have been widely criticized as politically motivated. In its 50 years of journey, All India Radio Leh has become a household name in Ladakh. Newsreaders, anchors and announcers look so familiar to the listeners. Especially when there was no other medium in Ladakh except All India Radio, the radio family is everyone's extended family. On the occasion of AIR Leh Golden Jubilee on the 25th of this month, our correspondent has filed this report.
Sewang Nurbu Shinkhan has retired as senior announcer from All India Radio Leh. He is one of the most dedicated and committed to his duties and travelled the length and breadth of Ladakh region between 1970 and 90s when villages and hamlets hardly have any roads. With all model recorders, he worked and recorded several unknown artisans and artists brought them to the fore. As an in-charge for rural programs, Sewang Nurbu Shinkhan touched the remotest village and reached wherever the radio signal could reach. Sevan Urbu shares his experience.
Whatever developmental we see today, credit goes to All India Radio Late. As time and again, radio people highlight the issues of the remote areas.
To its true spirit of Bahujan Hitay, Bahujan Sukhay, AIR works for the society in general and AIR Leh in particular. With Ramesh Chandra, Swatanta Chief, AIR News, Leh.
Today is the birth anniversary of Shahid Ram Prasad Bismil, the freedom fighter who fought against British colonialism and laid down his life. As part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the Ministry of Culture will hold a special ceremony at Shahjahanpur in Uttar Pradesh, the birthplace of Shahid Ram Prasad Bismil, today to mark his birth anniversary. Union Culture Minister Prahalad Singh Patel will offer floral tributes to Shahid Ram Prasad Bismil, Shahid Ashfaq Ullah Khan and Shahid Roshan Singh at a special event being organized by the Ministry of Culture at Shahid Udyan Shahjahanpur. Local MLA and UP Finance Minister Suresh Khanna, Culture and Tourism Minister of the State Neelkant Tiwari, along with other dignitaries, will join in the Pushpanjali ceremony. A report from our correspondent.
Born on 11th June 1897 in Shahjahanpur, Uttar Pradesh, Pandit Ram Prasad Bismil was amongst the most notable Indian revolutionaries who fought against British colonialism. He wrote powerful patriotic poems in Urdu and Hindi under the pet name of Bismil from the age of 19. He formed the Hindustan Republican Association with leaders like Bhagat Singh and Chandrasekhar Azad and participated in the Manpuri Conspiracy of 1918 and the Kakori Conspiracy of 1925 with Ashfaq Ullah Khan and Roshan Singh to protest against the British rule. He was martyred at Gorakhpur jail on 19th December 1927, just aged 30, for his role in Kakori Conspiracy. While in jail, he wrote Mera Rang De Basanti Chola and Sarfaroshi Ki Tamanna, which became the anthem for freedom fighters. As a tribute to the poet revolutionary, a small cultural presentation would also be dedicated to his legacy. Ministry of Culture will also mark the occasion with virtual programs regarding the contribution of Bismil and other patriots, which will be shared on the social media platforms. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Shikhar Dhawan will captain India on a six-match white ball tour of Sri Lanka in July. Indian Cricket Board said pacer Bhuvaneshwar Kumar will be the vice-captain of the 20-member squad announced yesterday. The All India Senior Selection Committee picked the squad for 3 ODIs and 3 T20 international series to be played between July 13th and 25th. The team comprises Shikhar Dhawan, captain, Prithvi Shaw, Devdutt Padikkal, Ruturaj Gaikwad, Suryakumar Yadav, Manish Pandey, Hardik Pandya, Nitish Rana, Ishan Kishan, wicketkeeper, Sanju Samson, also wicketkeeper, Yuzvendra Chahal, Rahul Chahal, K. Gautam, Krunal Pandya, Kuldeep Yadav, Varun Chakrabarti, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar vice-captain, Deepak Chahar, Navdeep Saini and Chetan Sakaria. All matches will be played at the R. Premadasa International Cricket Stadium, Colombo. India's Neeraj Chopra won the javelin gold medal in the meeting Cidade de Lisboa in Lisbon yesterday with a throw of 83.18 meters recorded with his sixth and last attempt. In the field of 5 Portuguese competitors, 23-year-old Chopra's best throw was 83.18 meters, which turned out to be a gold medal winning effort, as the other competitors failed to cross the 80-meter mark. Chopra's opening throw was 80.71 meters, while his second and third attempts were no throws. He failed to get a good rhythm in the fourth and could only record a throw of 78.5 meters. His fifth attempt too was no throw, while the last and sixth throw was 83.18 meters.
With 42 days to go for Tokyo Olympic Games, All India Radio today will talk about India's prominent women archer, Deepika Kumari. A report. Born in Ranchi, Jharkhand on June 13, 1994, Deepika has been the face of Indian archery for over a decade now. As a 16-year-old, she won 2 gold medals at the 2010 Commonwealth Games in Delhi and a bronze medal at the 2010 Asian Games in Guangzhou. Tokyo will be her third Olympics after being part of Indian team in the editions in London in 2012 and Rio de Janeiro in 2016. India has never won an Olympic medal in archery. The 26-year-old has been consistently consistent in the international circuit, winning multiple medals at the Archery World Cups over the years and 2 silver medals at the World.
The Indian Meteorological Department has confirmed that the southwest monsoon has covered the entire state of Maharashtra. According to IMD scientist K.S. Hozalikar, severe weather warning between 10 and 14th of June has been issued for Konkan and coastal areas of Mumbai region. In Raigad, Palghar and Ratnagiri districts, it has been raining heavily in some places for the last 2 days. Delhi witnessed a storm followed by rain last night, bringing relief to Delhiites from scorching heat. The mercury level dropped with a sudden change of weather as a minimum temperature of 29 degrees Celsius was recorded. India Meteorological Department tweeted that thunderstorm with light to moderate intensity rain with winds of 30 to 50 kilometers per hour would occur intermittently over and in adjoining areas of Delhi, Sonipat, Panipat, Palwal, Kurukshetra, Karnal, Jeend, Jhajjar, Faridabad, Ballabgarh in Haryana, Bagpat, Baraut, Bulandshahr, Aligarh, Noida, Greater Noida, Dadri, Shamli, Muzaffarnagar, Modi Nagar, Meerut, Ghaziabad, Hapur, Khekra in UP during the next 2 hours. The IMD in its bulletin also said that thunderstorm with lightning and gusty winds at isolated places is very likely over Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Punjab for the next 3 days. And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for the day. The national capital Delhi will see a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Minimum temperature was 29 degrees Celsius and the maximum will go up to 39 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. The minimum temperatures were 23 degrees, maximum 28 degrees. Jammu will have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Minimum temperature 30, maximum 43 degrees. Srinagar will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Temperature will hover between 20 and 33 degrees Celsius. Leh will have a generally cloudy sky. The minimum and maximum temperatures will be between 10 and 28 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will see a generally cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between 16 and 39 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. G7 to seek fresh probe by WHO into the origin of coronavirus, reports Hindustan Times, by pledging 1 billion jabs for countries around the world. Quoting the first set of guidelines for pediatric treatment of COVID issued by the Union government, the Pioneer headlines, no remdesivir, steroid only to critically ill kids. The Hindu Business Line quote Chief Economic Advisor as saying that the GDP growth will return in second half. Monsoon racing across India after arriving late, writes Hindustan Times. Many dailies have carried a photograph of a house that collapsed on another in Mumbai's Malad. The Asian Age headline reads, 8 kids among 11 die as building falls. 9 victims from one family. Buddhadev Dasgupta passes away is the headline in The Hindu. His films took the audience beyond realism and delved into magic realism, writes a paper. Many dailies have carried tributes to boxer Dinko Singh on their front pages, who died of liver cancer on Thursday. Gender divide closes further as many women as men in BCom, headlines the Indian Express. Third major program after BSc, MBBS, where women have caught up in the last 5 years, writes the paper.
And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. G7 leaders to call for a new transparent investigation by WHO into the origin of coronavirus. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the outreach session of G7 summit on Saturday and Sunday in virtual format. Women and Child Development Ministry urges people to not share information on social media about children found abandoned or in distress. Karnataka government announces unlock plan for 19 districts where positivity rate has come down. Jharkhand government cancels class 10 and 12 board examinations. More than 24 crore 58 lakh doses of corona vaccine administered in country so far. Exports of India's organic farm products jumps 51% in 2020-21. Pakistan's National Assembly approves a bill allowing Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav to appeal his conviction in High Court. India's Neeraj Chopra wins gold in javelin throw at meeting Siddharth Lisboa, and Shikhar Dhawan to captain India on 6-match white ball tour of Sri Lanka in July. And with that we end the morning news. Have a nice day.